Namaste to all. Happy Ugadi. And today we are blessed to have this opportunity to meet a person who is from a graduate from IIM Bangalore and who is the founder of Kalva Engineers. And also beyond this, because of his father's inspiration, our guest started Trust Sanatana Dharma Varadi to propagate the Dharma, to preserve our culture, and also providing some social service to the people. And we are blessed to have with our Guru Garu, Shri Kalvakolanu Shri Ramachandramurti Garu. So, Namaskaram Guru Garu.
Namaskaram.
So, our first question is Sanatana Dharma and the Hinduism both are the same or it is a different thing? Please explain that.
Okay, it's a good question. Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism, are they same or different? Now, eventually what happened is, Hinduism is being looked upon as Sanatana Dharma. But Sanatana Dharma, as the name itself says, Sanatana and Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Nobody knows when it started, who started, and how it started. Nobody knows. Of course, people say that Vedas are the foundation for that, but no one can give any timeline for Sanatana Dharma. And the word Dharma stands for the rituousness. It's a way of life. Now, Hinduism is being looked upon as a religion. There is a difference between religion and Dharma. So, Sanatana Dharma is a way of life. It doesn't talk about Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jain, Buddhism, etc., etc. These are all isms that have come. Whereas Sanatana Dharma talks about the way of life eternally that has been practiced. And the terms Hindu started coming, if you go back to Adi Sankaracharya period, for example, there used to be Dvaita, Advaita and Vishishta Advaita, of course with Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, etc. coming in. But nobody was talking about Hinduism at the time. There was no Hinduism. There was Shaivites, there were Vaishnavites, there was Shaktites, etc., etc., but not Hindus. But the word Hindu came in because of the Persian influence. In Persian language, there is no sa for them. So for Sindhu, they used to call Hindu. So those who are living in the Sindhu province, they were called the Hindus. Now, Sindhu is one part of the globe, which is now today we are calling it as Indian Ocean, affiliated to that. So, the word Hinduism came as synonymous to Sanatana Dharma because it was being practiced in this part of the world, and the Britishers have got a significant role to bring up this term of Hinduism. Of course, it is a fact that Hinduism, a lot of Hindus practice Sanatana Dharma. What is the Dharma that they practice? Is Sanatana Dharma, and done by Hindus mostly. But Hinduism is different from Sanatana Dharma because Sanatana Dharma is a way of life and Hinduism is considered to be a religion. There is a difference between religion and the way of life. So, to answer your question, is it the same? Answer is no. But is it being looked upon as same? The answer is yes. So there is a state of confusion amongst youth especially, without understanding the difference between these religion and the way of life. Because see, for a religion, you have a book, you have a single God, you have rules to follow, and you have some rigid, I would call it rigid rituals and practices. Whereas Sanatana Dharma gives a freedom to individuals It only says this is the best way of life for you. You will be happier, you will be successful, you will lead your life in happy way if you lead it in ABC format. And that is what is dharma, which is like it summarizes in a simple word, simple sloka as ahimsa, satyamasteyaha, shaucham, indriya nigraham, matruvat paradarascha, paradravyani loshtavat, atmavat sarvabhutani, esha dharma sanatanaha. This is what they said. Now, this is the way of life for everybody. There is nothing called, Hinduism preaches ahimsa, which is non-violence. Could it be Islam or Christianity or Jainism? No religion talks about violence. Every religion promotes non-violence only. So ahimsa is a way of life for human beings. So Sanatana Dharma preaches and promotes the way of life, and that way it is synonymous with Hinduism. But Hinduism is an ism which is not Sanatana Dharma. Have I answered or confused you more?
Guru Garu, you said that Sanatana Dharma and Hinduism both are different. But in the most of the people know what is the Hinduism and all these religious practices and all. But Sanatana Dharma we people don't know. Then why should we can approach from this ism to that dharma?
Yeah. See, whether you know or you do not know, you are already practicing dharma. That is one way of life, because dharma is one way of life. What dharma preaches is how do you lead your life virtuously, in a right way, so that everybody is benefited, you are benefited, and the society around you is also benefited. So today you are leading your life in that manner only, without knowing that you are following the Sanatana Dharma. You are thinking that it is Hinduism, but you are following Sanatana Dharma only, because Sanatana Dharma suggested you to lead your life in a particular manner, and you are following that without knowing that. There is nothing wrong in calling it Hinduism, but the ism, what I meant was, you must understand that if for any ism, it could be communism, it could be capitalism, it could be Hinduism. For any ism, there is a theory, there is a concept, and there is a proponent. A person proposes that theory. Marxism, for example, Karl Marx has proposed the theory. So people follow that. So there is nothing called Hinduism. Nobody proposed Hinduism to lead your life this way. What was given was only in Sanatana Dharma, which said lead your life in this manner, which was being practiced by people of India, and it eventually became Hinduism. So there is nothing wrong in calling it Hinduism. But we must understand that Hinduism is not Sanatana Dharma, or Sanatana Dharma is not Hinduism. Okay? So you practice the best way of living happily. See, everybody wants to lead their life happily. So these are basic eternal principles of leading your life happily. That is what Sanatana Dharma preaches. People in this country, the Maharshis, the Rishis, the sages, the saints, the monks, etc., they have understood this philosophy of leading a blissful life, and then they said, okay, look, if you lead your life in this manner, you will be happy. See, today we are seeing a lot of stress around, for especially the Gen Z, and they are going through a lot of stress now. The reason for this stress is not practicing the principles of life as laid down by Sanatana Dharma. Now, the Hinduism practices that to some extent, and some extent it is misunderstood also. So that is the difference I was trying to emphasize on the difference between Hinduism and Sanatana Dharma.
Okay. Guru Garu, in that Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism, what we are now practicing,
Yeah.
in that there is a definite question. So many people are asking that Hinduism has so many gods. Even when we see in the other religions, they have the only one god, one book, philosophy. That's all. But in Hinduism, we can coming to the so much of philosophy, so much of siddhantas are there, so many rishis and saints are there. They are asking that who is the god in your religion? Is it one or different? So many gods are there in Hinduism.
Yeah, that's a good question. See, even Sanatana Dharma says, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. That means there is only one truth which is being propagated, proposed by different ways and different forms. Eko Devaha Sivova Keshavova. In many Upanishads and many literatures of Sanatana Dharma, we find these statements wherein repeatedly it has been said that there are not many gods. What you are seeing is many forms of gods. God is only one. There is only one God who is appearing in different forms in different times. That is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. Because you don't have one book or one scripture or one prophet. You have Shankaracharya, you have Madhvacharya, you have Ramanujacharya, you have Rambhadracharya, you have so many, all gurus. Because Sanatana Dharma encourages you to question. Like the story of Nachiketa, if you know, who has followed up the Yamadharma Raja to find out the questions that were asked. Even Bhagavad Gita, for example. For that matter, Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks so many questions which are inconvenient for anybody else to answer that questions. But Krishna encourages that and answers all those questions. So it encourages inner search. So Sanatana Dharma has only one God, but the God appears in different forms because He is omnipotent, He is omniscient, omnipresent, and ye yadha mam prapadyanti tam sadaiva bhajamyaham. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. Whoever wants to see me in whichever form, I will appear before them in that form. So that is why we have so many forms of God. Like you have only one electricity, which is energy. Now that electricity, when it goes into a bulb, it gives you light. When it goes into a fan, it gives you air. When it goes into an air conditioner, it gives you beautiful room atmosphere, room temperatures. When it goes into a mixer or a grinder, it grinds the material. So it is the same energy which is doing different forms of, it is serving you in different forms. So Sanatana Dharma also says there is only one God, but that God will appear in different forms as per the belief of whoever is the practitioner. Because you like Hanuman, I like Ram, somebody else will like Shiva, somebody will like Mata. So based on their expectations, Sanatana Dharma says there is only one God, but He can manifest Himself in different forms. Okay?
Okay. But Guru Garu, in that other religions, they can say that their final end goal was like Swarga or Naraka. They said that we have different lokas, our God living in that loka and all. But what is the final goal of in our Sanatana Dharma? What is the final goal a human can attain in Sanatana Dharma?
Yeah. That is what we call in one word, if we have to say that in one word, it is salvation. That is called moksha. Because what Sanatana Dharma preaches, which other religions have not yet touched upon, and I don't know whether they will be able to explore that. It is only in Sanatana Dharma which talks about reincarnation. It says you are going to be born again and again and again and again. So this cycle of birth and death is going to continue for you. That is why they talk about Papa and Punya in Sanatana Dharma. You do good deeds, at least for your next birth, you are accumulating the wealth. So, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani, Jatare Senam, Iha Samsare, Bahadustare. This is what Shankaracharya has preached us in Bhajagovindam slokas. So instead of doing this, taking birth again and then death, see, the birth and death cycle is for 60, 70, 80 years. What is the average life of a human being today? It is 70 or 80 years. After 80 years, you are born again. Again, you live for 80 years. Again, you live for 80 years. So, history is hundreds and thousands of years. It is going on like this. You have Kruta Yuga, you have Dwapara Yuga, you have Treta Yuga, you have Kali Yuga, and these yugas will repeat again. This is what we understand from Sanatana Dharma. So you are going to be born again and again and again, and there is no guarantee that you will be born as a human being, because there are 84 lakhs of species of living beings on this earth. So you can take a birth in any of these forms, and that will be more challenging and problematic for you. So having born as a human being, this is a best opportunity for you to realize that the salvation, which means no birth again. That means you go and aikyam in God. That is called Sivaikyam or Vishnu Sayudyam, depending on whomever God you practice and follow. You go and join him so that you are not born again. That is the salvation, which is the ultimate goal of Sanatana Dharma. It doesn't talk about Papa Chine Punye Marche Loke Vishanti. This is what it says. If you accumulate Punya, okay, you have Punya, you will go to Swarga. You will enjoy your life there for some time, and then again you have to come back here. So this is what it says. So don't even look at punya. Do a Nishkama Karma, which doesn't give you punya or papa, and it doesn't attribute you to the results of any of the karma, and you will be free from the cycle of karma to be born again, and you will be attaining that salvation. That should be the ultimate goal.
You said that to come out of this birth and death cycle, we must perform Nishkama Karma. So what is called Nishkama Karma? So when doing the work, what is the approach to do that work? Either it is a student or a householder, whatever it may be. What is the approach to do the work?
Right. That's why, we should look at Bhagavad Gita, which gives you a lot of answers for all these kind of questions. There is a very, very popular sloka in Bhagavad Gita, I would say, which is more misunderstood than understood. It says, Karmanyevadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana. Ma karmapala heturbohu mate sangyosta karmani. This is what is the sloka. Now what it means is, people say that, okay, you have a right to do the karma, but not on the result. Don't expect the results. Keep doing the karma. This is what is generally said upon. But what it means is, when you do a karma, the result is already given. That means, if you write an exam, the result will come. If you write well, you get a good result. If you don't write well, you get a bad result. But result is given already. So, karmanyevadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana means, you have a right to do the karma, and once you have done the karma, the phalam will automatically, the result, phalam means result. The result will automatically come, because the result is being evaluated by the evaluator. You have written an examination, you have given the answer sheet and you came off. So the answer sheet is being evaluated by the evaluator, and you are bound to get a result. Now, so what is there with you to control? The control in your hand is the karma. Karmanyeva adhikaraste. Adhikaram you have only for the karma that you do. That means, how you write the exam is in your hands, not the result. Result is given by the evaluator. Now, if you write well, the evaluator cannot discount and then reduce your marks. He is forced to give you the marks. He will give. Automatically you will get. So that is what it means is, even in real life also, you are doing some karma. It is your duty. As a duty you do your karma. Whatever be the result that has to come for the result of the karma will automatically follow. That's what it means. Maphaleshu kadachana. Don't expect is not the right word actually, because result will come automatically. You don't have to expect. Once you have done some karma, you will get a result. You are boarded into a bus, it will take you to the destination. You got into a flight, it will land you in your place. So your responsibility is to get on board a flight. You have boarded a flight to Chennai, it will take you to Chennai. You can't board a flight to Chennai and then say, it should take me to Bangalore. That's what it means. Karmanyevadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana means, you have decided to board a flight to Chennai, It will take you to Chennai automatically. So the karma that you do will eventually bring you the results what have to come. Now, these karmas are dushkarmas and sukarmas. They have been categorized as good and bad deeds. So, what you do, so you get. You do a good deed, you get a good result. You do a bad deed, you get a bad result. That's what it means again. So, for your question that Nishkama Karma. Nishkama Karma is not lack of karma. Nishkama Karma is not aimless karma. Nishkama Karma is not working casually. Nishkama Karma doesn't mean that you must work without expecting anything. Because without expectation nobody will work. Prayojanam anuddishya namandopi pravartate. This is what Shastra says. Now, when you do a Nishkama Karma, or when you are doing a karma, you want it to be Nishkama Karma. That means you have a goal in your mind. You will work for that goal. You will give your best and then take the result as it comes. Because that is what tells you the result that has given you should tell you the effort that you have put in for the kind of result that you have got it. You should only understand that, okay, I did only so much of work, so I got so much of result. If I want so much of result, I must do so much of work. Now, this is where you have the adhikara. That's what it means, karmanyava adhikaraste. Okay?
Okay. For that, Guru Garu, some people call it as a fate. Some people say that we have done lot of work, but we are not getting result. It is our fate.
Yeah.
Then why this fate thing coming to in our lives? So many people say that in Telugu people say it is my talarata. I am like living like in this way and all. Is there our past birth's reflection? Is there in our now what we are doing? In that the effect of past karmas will be there in our lives now?
See, this karma, there are 3 forms of karma. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma and agami karma. See, a soul, Sanatana Dharma says, a soul accumulates the karma in the previous births and it comes to this birth with some amount of karma. It is like you have got, let us say, a lakh of rupees in your bank account. You decide to spend 10,000 rupees this year. That's your decision. So you take out 10,000 rupees only. Come what may, you are not going to draw one more rupee also. That is the discipline what you have got. And you spend only the 10,000 rupees. That 90,000 is still there with you. You wanted to use it next year for that. So therefore you have decided not to use it. So you are using only this 10,000 for this year. Like that, what the soul does is it comes along with the karma, what it has accumulated over previous births, and that karma is called prarabdha karma. So that prarabdha karma will guide the person here in this life. Now this is where Sanatana Dharma says your prayers, your meditation, your tapas, your japam, your homam, your anushtanam, your punya karma, your tirthayatra, your ganga snan, etc., will help you to overcome this kind of prarabdha karma. Now, if the prarabdha karma is very strong, for example, and you do a small, simple punya karma, that is not enough. So you have to do more. Then you can overcome that prarabdha karma. Now, this people, what happens is, without putting in adequate effort, it is easy to blame on talrata. And so lethargic attitude will drive people to say it is my talrata and leave it there. But normally what God says is, no, there is a sloka there which says Harinapi, Harenapi, Brahmanapi, Sudairapi, Lalata Likidarekam, Parimaptim Nasakyate. That means whether it is Hari, Vishnu, Harenapi, that means Shiva, Brahmanapi, let it be Brahma, that means Trimurtis also, cannot change your fate. But it doesn't stop there. What it says is you can change your fate yourself by doing karmas, now good karmas. That's what it says. So, people don't want to take so much of effort and then it is easy to blame. When somebody succeeds in life, he will always give the credit to himself. He will say, I have been disciplinedly working, I have planned a lot of things, I did this, I worked hard, etc., etc. But when he fails, he will immediately say, God is not helping me. That has become a fashion nowadays, so that's where people say that. But it's not true. You can change your talarata also by working proportionately hardly if required. That is what it means. Okay.
Guru Garu?
Yeah.
in our Sanatana Dharma, there is a caste system. Is it there in from our Dharma from starting onwards, or it come in the middle way?
First of all, Sanatana Dharma does not have the caste system. You said in our Sanatana Dharma there is a caste system. So you must first understand that.
People are believing that we have this caste
No,
and
it
all.
is
In our religion only they are believing.
In Hinduism,
Hinduism.
it was attributed actually. Sanatana Dharma talks about Varna Ashrama Dharma. Varna Dharmas are there, not castes. Caste is different from Varna. Okay. And Ashrama Dharmas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. The way of life for these kind of people. When you are not married, how should you lead your life? If you are married, how should you lead your life? Like that, it goes. The Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa and Grihastha ashramas are ashrama dharmas. Like that, you have Varna dharmas based on the work that people have been doing it. If you are, like even today we call it business community. It's a Varna. We call industrial workers. It's a Varna. You call administrators or the IAS officers or the office, government officers, all the government officers, they are running the administration. So these are Kshatriyas, the people who run the administration, they were all Kshatriyas. So the people who do the business, they are all Vaishyas. So, and the intellectuals who are forming the guidelines, like Parliament for example, today Parliament is framing the rules. So, you have that class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4. In government also, even today you have class 4 officer, employee and a class 1 officer. So this classification of the society based on the work that they have been doing, they have been divided as those who are always continuously looking and searching for answers for the Brahman, they were called Brahmans. Those who were working for the society and protecting the society, they were called Kshatriyas. Those who were doing the trading activity and all, they were called Vaisyas, and all others who were working were called Shudras. But these are not castes. Castes are different. Today caste has become, this is introduced by British to divide the society, Indian society. But Sanatana Dharma does not talk about caste system at all. There is no discussion about caste. And in fact, you have castes also, and now you have subcastes also within the caste. That is all. Society has formed up. Grouping up has happened over a period of time, in hundreds of years, of course. And Sanatana Dharma never talked about caste. It only talks about the Varna and Ashrama Dharmas.
Okay. So, some people say that in our Sanatana Dharma, we have blind faith. We don't have courage, or we don't have right to ask the question and why to perform a puja, why to do a japa. Some other religions are thinking in this way. These people are going in a blind faith. So in our Sanatana Dharma, everything is a blind faith, or is there any reasons for that?
First of all, you must understand, Sanatana Dharma does not encourage blind faith at all. It is only Sanatana Dharma which encourages questioning. Tattva vicharam, it says analyze and then seek answers. Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So, and it says prajnanam brahma. So the truth is in the knowledge, and you have to search for the knowledge. And in fact, Sanatana Dharma has also proposed a Rishi Sthanam for somebody who questioned the basic principles of Sanatana Dharma. Like Charuvaka Samhita, there is one Charuvaka Samhita. Charuvaka is a Maharshi who used to propose those days, Yavat Jivam Sukham Jivet, Pranam Kritva, Gritam Bribet, Bhasmi Bhutasya Dehasya Punaragamanam Kutaha. This was his philosophy. That means, as long as you are living, live, enjoy. Yavat Jivam Sukham Jivet, Pranam Kritva, Gritam Bribet. Take loans. And Gritam Bribet means those days all with ghee. Everything was made with ghee. So enjoy your lunch, dinner, breakfast, everything with all things. And spend money, doesn't matter, bring loans, because you don't have to repay. There is no rebirth. And you don't have to repay to him. And that was his philosophy, And he said, Yavat Jivam Sukham Jivet, Ranam Kritva Gritam Bribet, Bhasmi bhutasya dehasya, that means it is going to be submitted to fire after the body is, soul leaves the body. And punaragamanam kutha, where is the proof that you are coming back? This was this question. On this theory, he has proposed a samhita. There is a book written by him on that. And for him also, Sanatana Dharma gave the status of a rishi. They call his Charuvaka Rishi Maharshi. And people discussed with him. And today we have, as part of the Vedas actually, we have Tarka Shastra and a Mimamsa Shastra, which question the propositions made by the Vedas also, and they encourage you to analyze, understand, do your own research, and find the knowledge. In fact, we have a Purana in that, wherein son of Vyasa Maharshi, Sukayogindra, we call him Sukha Maharshi. He goes to his father and asks him for a solution, for an answer. He says, Janaka Maharaja can give you this solution. Go to him. Now this man thinks, I am already a Rishi, Maharshi, and my dad, Vyasa Maharshi, is a proponent of all Ashtadasha Puranas and all. Such a highly knowledgeable man, and he doesn't have an answer, and he is asking me to go to a king. Janaka Maharaja is a king. How can I go to him? So he tries 18 times, he goes and comes back also. He doesn't go to him finally, because his conscience doesn't permit. I have not been directed properly. He comes back. Then again he says, no, my dad said, so that means that man must be a great man, wisdom man with knowledge and all. So like that he goes, and finally, of course there is a big story to make it short. He gets the answer. So this much of encouragement is given in Sanatana Dharma, not to believe anything blindly. That's the point I was trying to make. You don't have to believe anything in blindly. It doesn't encourage you to believe blindly. There is no scope at all for blind belief. Anything that you want, there is already written, documented, experienced procedures which have been given by Maharshis in different forms of literature, and you go through that, and then you understand, you satisfy yourself, and only then you practice. So it is not blind belief. Sanatana Dharma doesn't encourage blind belief at all. Okay? Belief system, yes, I agree. You have to believe, because if you have to achieve something, you need to believe. If you don't believe, you can't achieve. And you have to achieve salvation, that is your objective. So to achieve salvation, you have to believe that this is the route to follow. So therefore you have to believe. Belief is different from blind belief. It doesn't encourage you for blind belief at all, and gives you a whole, people study for 7 to 8 years in Tarka and Mimamsa Shastras after completing Veda, which is questioning every word in Vedas and finding out the answers for that. Okay?
Then Gurugar, in our Sanatana Dharma, we have so much of books and knowledge, and we have. In other religion, they say that we have only one book. In your religion, what is that one book everyone can follow? But when coming to the Veda, it is for some people who are having in that way of living, they can only able to do Veda Parayana and all. To learn the Vedas, they have certain rules.
Yeah.
And also, we have Puranas, Agamas and everything. So, for the Sanatana Dharma, if a person, a normal household, if in the other religions, everyone has the same book, and for easy to household or student or whatever it may be, there is only one book. If in our Dharma, what is the basic books our youth can follow, and basic knowledge, to get the basic knowledge about our Dharma, what are the books we can go through?
Okay. Now we have Shruti, Smriti, Puranas. The entire literature is classified into 3 categories. Vedas are Shrutis.
Okay.
Now Vedas also, we have thousands of Vedas. Eventually they came into 4. They have been bundled by Vyasa Maharshi into 4 Vedas. And these 4 Vedas have again hundreds of shakas. We lost all that knowledge now. Only Rig Vedam, Yajur Vedam, Samvedam and Atharvana Vedam, they are prevailing with 1 or 2 shakas each. Hardly 10 or 12 are there now. But as you said, yes, that is not easily reachable, easily understandable, because it says Satyam Vada, Dharmanchara, Swadhyayan, Ma Pramadaha, Dharman, Na Pramajitavyam. It goes like that. Now what do you understand if I say Satyam Vada? So people don't understand that. So what Maharshis did was, from these Vedas, they have given us the basic principles to be followed called as smrtis, which is like something like non-detailed, You have a main book, a textbook, and then a non-detail also. So which has bullet points in that. Now even that is a bit difficult for people to understand. So for common people, they have given us Ashtadasa Puranas. Now these Puranas will explain what is meant. For example, Satyam Vada is one word given in Veda. The whole synopsis of Satyam Vada is given in the form of a story of Harishchandropakhyana. If you read Harishchandropakhyana, then you will understand why Veda said Satyam Vada, what is the benefit of sticking to the truthfulness, and how does the truth finally triumph over lies, etc. So, like that, it says, Matruvat Paradarascha Paradravyani Lostavat. I said sometime back about Sanatana Dharma when I introduced. So, Vedas talk about these things. So, treat the woman like your mother. So, that's what it means, Matruvat Paradarascha. Now, to understand that, you have got entire Ramayana. Sita was abducted by Ravana. He did not treat her like his mother. So, therefore, he had to lose all that battle. And do not expect others' properties. Duryodhana did the same thing in Mahabharata. So these Puranas have been given to people to understand in the form of a story by embedding the basic principles of Vedas and Smritis and Shrutis. So it is easy to read and easy to understand also. And sometimes if they are difficult to understand, then we have got, only in Sanatana Dharma you have the system of Guru Parampara. Acharya Parampara is there, and that is why it is essential that you stick to one Parampara in your life. It doesn't matter whether you are following Advaita or Vishishtadvaita or Dvaita. It doesn't matter. If you stick to one line, at least your life, you will be able to understand something by the fag end of your life. That's why it insists that you follow one Guru Parampara only. It is not that it doesn't stop you from going to other gurus and bowing before them and getting knowledge from them, but your lineage should continue in one particular line so that you will be able to understand, and in your lifetime you will be able to acquire the knowledge that is required for you to be guided, for the soul to be guided in the right direction.
Okay. Nowadays, in this present generation, they have everything. They have so much of technologies are there. They are living very happy life as compared to the...
Really? Okay. Go ahead.
As compared to the last 100 years, they have so many of facilities.
Yes.
If some of my friends asking that, if we have all the facilities, is our father is some good businessman and all, then why should I go to the approach to the God and all? If I have everything, I will be happy now. I am thinking that tomorrow is also to be a happy thing. Then why should I go to the God and all? If my own working can give me the results what I can work, if I done the good, if it comes the good results, then why should I go to the God?
Okay.
If everything goes in a right way, I getting the right results, then why should I go to the God?
Yeah, it's a good question. No, there is a saying, you must have heard this, Manava Sevaye Madhava Seva. When you say, why should I go to God, probably you meant, why should I go to a temple? Answer is, don't go. No need. You don't have to go to temple and pray God, but then you are blessed from what you said that you have got everything. This question was put to me in US, when I was in US, touring US there. One 16-year-old boy asked me this question. He said, my dad is here for the last 30 years and we have got all the material comforts. We don't have to worry about anything. In fact, I don't have to work. I have got enough wealth. So I am already wealthy and I have all the comforts. Then why should I do any prayer or meditation? So, for such people, now you are blessed today that you have got all these things. So, this is where Sanatana Dharma comes into picture now. Sanatana Dharma says, okay, you are blessed. Now see around you how many millions of people in Africa today are struggling without a meal properly. And how many millions of people do not have the basic facility to live under a roof. And how many millions of people are struggling with ill health. And how many millions of people Like this, if you go on listing down what you have and what others do not have, you will find millions and millions and millions of people. So compared to them, you are very, very blessed. That's why it says, Manava Sevaye Madhava Seva. So now what you are supposed to do, you do service. You provide service to those who are not as fortunate as you, and that is also a form of worship. Not just going to the temples. That is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma says, Chimalo, Brahmalo, Sevake Sevadulalo. That means you can take we say there is a Veda mantra which says Hagamsas Sujishat Vasurantarik Kishat Hota Ve Desadatidro Nasad. So what it means is there is a Telugu poem also given, translated by Potana in Bhagavatam. He says, Kaladambodi Kalandu Gali, Kaladakashambunan, Kumbinan, Kaladagnin Disilan, Pagalanissilan, Kadjo the Chandrarpulan, Kaladishundu Kalandu Gali, and it starts like that. That means, see, if you are looking at God as a human being with 2 arms and 4 arms or whatever forms that you are looking at, that is not the real God. The real God is explained in Vibhuti Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. It says, Prahladas Daityanam Kalah Kalaitam Aham Mriganam Chamurgendroham Vainatesha Pakshinam. Like that it goes on, like that. So wherever you are seeing something which is not there with you and with somebody else, like for example, you find a singer who has got a beautiful voice. That is God. That voice is attracting millions of people. You have got a physical strength. Somebody is able to lift 200 kgs of weightlifting power. Not everybody has got that strength. Someone is able to run. The marathon runners are able to run, and the Olympic runners are able to do it in microseconds. They are able to win the medals. They are running so fast. That's abilities that these are called vibhutis of God. So God has given you in this life those kind of vibhutis. So now this vibhutis is meant to be shared by everybody else, not for you alone. If you keep it to yourself and do not share, so this is what you are now, this life. In the beginning itself I said, Sanatana Dharma believes in reincarnation and next birth. So you need to invest for the next birth. So do service and then go through that also. That is also a form of worship only. Okay? Next.
In that you have mentioned so many slokas from Bhagavad Gita and all. So nowadays Bhagavad Gita became a popular thing. Most everyone is quoting Bhagavad Gita slokas and all. So many people coming to the YouTube and all. But when I approach to my friends, they are saying that we are not able to understand those Bhagavad Gitas and all. But they know all our problems has an answer in Bhagavad Gita. Every answer is there in Bhagavad Gita. But they said that we are unable to find some good translation or good, that means what we can say, good commentary on Bhagavad Gita. So is the Bhagavad Gita has all the solutions for our problems? If it has, which Bhagavad Gita, which commentary youth can approach? So you have so many commentaries in nowadays world. Some people are distributing so many of copies that they can be understandable by some set of people only. If the people are in that sect, they can only understand what is the meaning. If a youth like me, who is only doing some puja and anushtana and all, but they don't know what is, they have some sects like Shakta, Tattva and all. But what is the best commentary to read the Bhagavad Gita? And please suggest us those commentary book to read.
Okay. Now, Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhagavad Gita, Kinchita Dhita. Kinchit means infinitesimally small. Dhi means the buddhi, the intellectual, that has to go into your intellectual. At least some part, like for example, I'll give you an example. In Bhagavad Gita, we have chapter 12 talks about the sloka, a best guide for personality development. It says, Adveshta sarvabhutanam maitrah karunaye vacha nirmamo nirhankaro samadukka sukakshami santushta satatam yogi drudatma dhrannasya. Like this it goes on. These are all qualities of a leader. How to lead the teams. For example, first one it says, Adveshta sarvabhutanam. That means Don't have grudge on anybody. Love everybody. Love all. Sarva bhutanam, not just mankind. It says all living species. You must develop the love and passion for affection and kindness towards all kinds of living creatures. See what a beautiful word. So even if somebody gets that one single statement or that word, Kinchit adhita, that's why he said, Shankaracharya said, Bhagavad Gita, Kinchit adhita. So the best, you asked me to recommend, but there are many are there, like you have got, people have approached Bhagavad Gita in from different angles and different perspectives. Adi Shankaracharya has written his own commentary from Advaita philosophy point of view. You have got Swami Ranganathananda of Ramakrishna Mission. He has written an excellent book on that. Chinmaya Mission has given that. Everybody has written that book. Now everyone has their own way of presentation of that. So I would suggest pick any one which you like first and take at least one sloka, read once. You may not understand, doesn't matter. You don't have to understand, because see, when doctor prescribes me a tablet, I don't understand how it works. But I take the tablet, it works for me. That's all. So these are mantras. Mantras work like that. They do magic on your mind. The neural system starts working automatically without your knowledge. If you start practicing reading that Bhagavad Gita, that is enough. That's why they say read Bhagavad Gita at least. Every household should have Bhagavad Gita, and then people should read at least one sloka or one line or even one word of that. That is what Adi Shankaracharya proposed and promised us the results. People are getting the results also out of that.
Finally, what is your message to the youth and what we can follow?
Okay. Youth have to understand that Sanatana Dharma is a way of life. To keep them happy, keep their families happy, and keep their communities happy, keep the society happy, and keep the country happy. So if they understand the real principles of Sanatana Dharma, they will be leading a happy life, and they need to put some effort to understand that if required, like they are putting in a lot of effort in many other things today. This is one aspect of them to lead a happy life. Okay?
Okay.
All the best to you.
Thank you.